Hi, and welcome to the Rant. Good to see you coming back for more punishment here. um, I'm liking what I'm seeing on YouTube, the fact that I have gotten a little bit of a response. I didn't expect to draw a mass audience. For one thing, I'm not a sexy woman. I'm not teasing to flash my breasts or anything like that. So I'm impressed that I'm getting any viewership whatsoever for sometimes what can be kind of mundane topics. But hey, if you want to watch, I'll continue to put them out. Today I want to talk about one of my favorite subjects. One of the things that, after all these years, for all the things that I've gone through in my life, is one thing that still gets my blood pumping. And don't ask me why, because these days it seems like it's gotten more and more stupid as time goes, more stupid and more unbelievable as time goes by here. But I still truly enjoy watching professional wrestling. Primarily I watch WWE stuff. I know there are other promotions out there. I know that there's this TNA that's going on. Haven't seen much of it. What I have seen of it, I'm not horribly impressed with. Maybe because it just, to me, just doesn't have the star power that WWE has. And the thing about WWE is when they want to put out a good product, they really can. And sometimes they can get a little sloppy, especially on their television shows, especially on Raw and SmackDown. But the pay-per-views, they can still churn out some pretty good pay-per-views. Wish it wasn't so damn expensive. It's, nearly, we have to pay $40 for a secondary pay-per-view and as much as $50 for something like WrestleMania, which will bring me to another subject after a while, which I think would be a great suggestion for them. I started watching professional wrestling when I was old enough to watch TV, or when I was old enough to watch and understand TV. I figure I started paying attention to pro wrestling probably back when I was 7, 8 years old. And my mom and dad really didn't care for it. We had a young lady in our apartment that I was living in when I was a kid that went to these things on a regular basis and was getting to the point where she was taking me to these matches. That was a lot of fun. That was first off, have to remember, one of the first things that was really fascinating about all this is when I was a kid, all we had there was no such thing as color TV for at least another, but I don't think I saw my first color TV. I think I was maybe 9 or 10 years old when I saw my first color TV, and at the time they just weren't that prevalent. So when I'd watch wrestling on TV, it'd always be in black and white. And so going to these matches and seeing these guys in their, seeing everything in color was, at that time, was very fascinating. But beside that point, it really was entertainment. I thought it was great entertainment. You could draw the line between good guys and bad guys. And what they put out there was fairly believable, even to those who were, in their adolescence, I guess. It was a pretty good product. I grew up when I was a young kid, I grew up in Kansas City, so I got to see the matches at Memorial Hall in Kansas City, Kansas, quite a bit. That was under the old Central States territory. Guys like Harley Race, Bulldog Brown, Rufus R. Jones, Steve Bolus, a few of those names you're gonna gonna lose you with. But one in particular, there was a lady wrestler who I really don't even know that she was wrestling that particular night. But there was a lady wrestler by the name of Betty Nicolai, who, and I don't remember everything about my childhood. I do remember that this young lady took, somehow I got to meet her, and she took me under her wing, and took me backstage, took me to meet all these guys, took me back to meet Race, took me back to meet Geigel, and that was just, and she sat with me through the matches. It was a lot of fun. And I tell you, excuse me, to this day, I wish there was a way I could go find a way to contact her to thank her for that. There was a wonderful thing she did. I think that if pro wrestling would do more of that these days, I think it would be, I think it'd be absolutely wonderful. And I'm not talking about the promotional camera shots and stuff like that. I think that, well, because of the nut jobs out there, the fans can't get as close to the wrestlers as we did, watching wrestling. They'd come right through the crowds and whatnot. They'd have a couple security guards, but these days, you can't get within a 10 yards of these guys unless they come to one of the security railings. But I kind of miss that part. But moving on to what I was saying, being a big fan of professional wrestling, I wound up going when my father died back in '72. I wound up moving up to St. Paul, Minnesota, and I was also treated to some pretty good wrestling up there. Back in the days of the American Wrestling Association, that was Vern Gagne's promotion back then. We were treated some good stuff up there. I mean, we'd go to the matches. By then, I could ride my own bicycle down to the St. Paul Auditorium or the St. Paul Civic Center, or take the bus down there by myself. Didn't have to have anybody bringing me, and it was fairly. You could get a good seat for $10. It was good fun. Got to hang. There again, you didn't have the big security railings and whatnot. So if you got the right seats, you could get close. You get close up to the guys when they were coming back and forth the ring. You get close up to the ring. Ringside seats weren't all that